Pokemon Kill Yourself Edition. If there is one thing I can get you guys to understand with this video, I am a crack fiend, okay? Seriously, like, I have a problem. I have been playing this game non-stop since it came out. Pokemon's kind of like Sonic for me. It's one of those things that, like, I'm able to kind of play unobjectively because it's just been there all my life. Like, you're not going anywhere, Pokemon. Let me be the first one to say, this game is not worth $70. It's not. I know what you're thinking. Don't spend $70 on this game. The biggest complaints that I've heard about this game is that the city is just like this vapid nothing that's like very samey. And it's not even just that the city's samey. Let me show you something. A lot of the Pokemon are just not that varied or interesting. Maybe this is some of my bias, but like it was really hard for me to find mons that I like really liked. Like it's a lot of the like forget me mons. Like who the f you see that I don't know if you can tell, that's Delibird. The little silhouette up there, zooming on that. Who the f uses Delibird? Like, honestly, I hate to tell you this, but if you're 25 and still using Delibird, you're a f***ing loser. I'm sorry. Crawl out of your mother's basement. Santa isn't real, and neither is that f***ing bird. Get a real goddamn Pokemon, like Munchlax. They have pat rats everywhere. I kill those every time I see them. I f***ing hate pat rats. Like some of them are cool. You got like Pidgey, Abra, you got Venipede, Scolipede, and then there's like Manectric, and it's like, isn't Manectric like kind of bad? I know people like Manectric, but he's like not that good to use. It was kind of hard team building in this game. That Larvitar, like there was one hidden off in a corner. The exploration in this game is you just walk around the city, or you walk around the rooftops, or you walk around the sewers. And I remember thinking that the sewers are going to be so cool. You have to freeze a water fountain to get into the sewers, and then it's just like a level. I really thought it was going to go deeper and lead into, like, the catacombs of Paris that everyone was talking about. They really f***ed us not doing that. Like, come on. This Rotoglide thing feels so, like, janky. It's kind of hard to describe. The second that you open the game, actually, I wish I caught footage of that, you can immediately tell, like, wow, this game feels kind of, like, stiff to move in. Like, you see how I'm, like, moving, and then that, I just immediately go into a run. Which isn't bad, especially for an RPG, but coming off of Legends Arceus, you feel like there'd be more of like a gradual, like analog motion, like transition to running, but no, you're walking and then you push up and you run. Another thing that people have been complaining about is the battle. Oh, yeah, some rats, I can kill them. Another thing people have been complaining about is the battle system. I'll kill this one that's sleeping. Another thing that people have been complaining about is the battle system. And that's actually like the one thing I will glaze, because I really think this battle system is good. It's a little bit shittily communicated, but I think I really hope they improve on this battle system, because it's really the closest that we've ever gotten to like the actual anime fighting, and it's not as good as Power World. Power World is just better. I can't believe these chuckle are suing Power World when they literally made Pokemon but better. This problem with the battle system is kind of twofold. One, you see my team down there, you notice the types aren't super varied. That's really what I like about this game. That may depend on who you are. You know, in Pokemon, you have to split up your teams. You have to make sure you have the right type combinations. In this game, you're given a little bit more freedom because of the nature of the battle system. Like, super effective moves are still important, but like, you say I have the Sableye on the team. He's been okay because of the battle system letting him let off attacks one after the other. It kind of equalizes the Pokemon, which a lot of people aren't going to like. But if you're trying to like have a game that plays more like the anime, it lets you do that. Oh, good yiffy goodness, no. So a lot of people's biggest problem with the battle system is, you see that, they have to like reposition themselves whenever they attack. And there's a lot of footage online of when it just takes way too long, and it does take way too long. It's annoying. I have seen people say that that is a problem. It is, but it's got a reason for it. Let me show you some. Maybe this will improve your Pokemon Legends ZA gameplay tips. So you want to get close to your Pokemon. When you get close to your Pokemon, they don't reposition themselves. The idea, I think, is that once you get closer, you're putting yourself in danger, but it also means your Pokemon listen more. It's like a risk and reward system. The doo-doo feces stupid problem is that in battles like this, where you're just fighting other trainers, they don't hurt you. So like for some of the battles, that risk and reward just isn't there. It feels really stupid. What I think they should do is break out ideas from Pokemon Adventures, have every trainer be like an evil stand user that's trying to kill you, and every battle is a fight for your fucking life. I think that would just completely balance the game out. It would actually make it like a 10 out of 10 at that point. Even if you still got like this shitty city, like I don't know, now it's like a horror game. That's awesome. Let's talk about the story. I think a lot of people have been glazing how bad the story is, and it's awful. Here's the thing with the story, and I'm gonna talk about this in a later video, but like it's so hard for me most of the time to like call a story truly bad. I think even like poorly executed stories usually have some kind of merit. Dawn is approaching. Oh no, not that. Go Dawn from the Pokemon show and show her fucking keeling over and dying. Stupid fucking whore. Awful fucking schmidt. Even poorly executed stories, I can usually find something in them that I like. I really don't think most stories are bad. I think they're just differently executed. Maybe unskillfully executed, but they don't, like, make me upset. This story pisses me off. I think this story is actually bad. It is weird, liberal, societarian. Let's defend this crumbling society. It feels really weird, especially as, like, fascism and capitalism has become more and more of a problem in the Western world. And this giant mega corporation that is constantly taking L's is just like, hey, even loan sharks are pretty okay. There's no bad guys. Come on. Yes, you heard me correctly. There is a loan shark character in addition to the CEO character that puts your friend in debt. I should also mention your friend is like glazing the CEO character. And the CEO character looks like this. That is Mom from Futurama, okay? I know they're not the same, but that's the same bitch. Come on. There is like this ominous air that they're doing something wrong, and the story keeps like trying to defend them, and like there's literally an angry mob going like, what the f are you weird motherfuckers with all this power in our city doing? And you have to like fight one of the fucking protesters, like with the loan shark. There, you double team a protester with the loan shark. I shit you not. I literally just sat there and let the loan shark fight him because he had a scoilipede. He took care of the guy himself. I was just there like, oh my god, okay. We're beating up this protester now. In a world where Chicago is on fire with this Pokemon Legends ZA makes the daring decision to put you in the shoes of an ice agent. With a loan shark next to you. And like this hits me personally. I'm gonna get a little deep here, so like here's some trigger warnings. I'm gonna talk about like foster care and like child abuse and propaganda and shit like that. So if you're not into that, maybe you can like skip to here or something. So here's a little bit about me. My mom was a hotep. If you don't know what a hotep is, it's like a weird black nationalist. Very into a lot of really dumb conspiracy theories, but like they are like that in some degree because a lot of them recognize like it's not right, especially when you're black. It's very obvious that shit's not right and like not meant for you. And like a lot of hoteps now have really dumb conspiracy theories, but you still always see like it's coming from a legitimate fear. Like, I never try to be like, you're stupid. Because, like, to some degree, they're not. Like, they're really not. So, like, I wasn't allowed to sing the Pledge of Allegiance growing up. If you're not from the US, we have this weird thing where we have to pledge to our flag like it's a god. It's so like nightmarish and dystopian. And now our president is making sentiments like that and anti-capitalism a pre-crime, so I'm getting watched by the feds, I'm pretty sure, because of this. Hi feds, I don't want anything to do with you. I'm not going to commit any crimes. And I remember growing up in this environment where I was constantly taught to like fight the system, and I felt horrible. I felt so weird and outcasted because when you go to school, everything around you is telling you, no, this is correct. That is really impressionable when you're a little kid. And the thing was, so at some point I got taken away from my mother into foster care and I lived with a white family. And they were very proud Americans. A lot of them were in the military. A lot of them I don't talk to anymore because they're feds, and part of that is also me saying that probably them off. But as I grew up with this white family and I was allowed to suddenly feed into this propaganda, I felt a lot more accepted and normal because I was pledging to the flag and doing all this other that the other kids believed in. And the thing was, by the time I was 18, my foster mother just cut me the loose. And here's the thing, I'm still a at heart. Like, I don't act that white. I don't have that many white mannerisms. I do pass for white really easily, but like once you start talking to me, you're like, oh, you're not one of us. I don't have a lot of the personality traits that like a professional, nicely raised white person would have. And I think a lot of that was because of my mom teaching me to like value my own individuality from such a young age. So as I got into my 20s, I started like coming into contact with all the prejudices and all the class differences that you kind of experience as a black person, especially coming out of foster care. A lot of the systemic problems that come from like not having parents that can buy you a car. And I just had this mindset from growing up with all this propaganda like, oh, it's my fault. It's my fault. I just need to do better. And like this game makes me scared that like a similar ideology will get passed on to kids that will play. Because this is a kid's game. Kids are very impressionable. And I think one of the most insidious parts is that the loan shark literally talks about how he was like this poor down and out kid. And then he got helped by a character named Lysander, who was a billionaire tech CEO that was just weirdly really fucking nice for some reason. And it's like, I don't want kids to have this fantasy that like, oh, you just have to work hard enough and you'll get there. No, you no, actually, like maybe you'll get to like a management position where you're just a house selling other people's freedom for your security. That's probably the most you're gonna fucking get. Try really, really hard, you might get to manager. If you try really, really, really hard and you get really fucking lucky. I have a friend who got that. She's really fucking smart. She got really fucking lucky. She knows a bunch of CEOs, and her knowing a bunch of CEOs was like the only reason she was able to find what sounds like a really strenuous job after losing her other job completely fucking randomly. Like I think she was just laid off or something. Like it's fucking crazy. These billionaires do not care about us, and I really hate the idea that Pokemon is trying to push us. And the really horrible thing is like, I remember my mom getting mad at me for doing things like believing in Santa or pledging allegiance to stuff, buying into all these fantasies and shit. She got mad at me actually for playing Pokemon. I don't want kids to have to go through that. But the whole time I'm playing this game, I'm like, if I saw my kid playing this, I would take it away from him. I don't want him to have that message. That's a really dangerous message for kids to accept. The better solution, honestly, is not to take it away from them, but play it with them, watch it with them, engage with them, and discuss the themes with them. Maybe you can steer their ideas. But not everyone has the fucking time for that, especially in this insane hyper-capitalist economy where these billionaires and loan sharks and shit are constantly taking everything from us. It's so fucking crazy that they made this game. If you're gonna buy this game, just don't let your kids play it, okay? Or do what I said. Play it with them and discuss the themes. Because they're really horrible themes. They're really insidious, awful themes. I fucking hate this game's story. Like, that title, Let's Chill and Talk About Why This Is the Worst Game Ever, that really was intended to be a joke, but the more I'm talking about this, I'm like, wow. Yeah, it might actually be. It's definitely my least favorite game right now, which really says something because I'm very addicted to it. This is the rent-a-girlfriend of video games. Like, I can't stop going back because it keeps giving me, like, little pieces of candy, but it's poisonous. Oh, man, and if that wasn't bad enough, let me talk about this game's story as a Pokemon game. Because, like, it could have at least been an okay Pokemon story, but holy... Dude, Jesus Christ. It's supposed to be like the third version of X and Y, and it's not. Maybe there's gonna be something at the end. I've seen Zygarde, but like there is so much shit that they didn't use in X and Y that would have made this game amazing, especially for a Legends game, and it's just not fucking there. It's almost daybreak, which means I'm gonna have to sit on a fucking bench and wait for nightfall again so that something interesting can fucking happen. This game sucks. For the uncircumcised in the audience, Pokemon X and Y was a game where they released in 2013. Pokemon likes doing this thing where they'll release two, like, half-assed games, and then they would make, like, a third version that was, like, the definitive edition. And Pokemon X and Y was kind of the last time they did that. They just released two half-assed games, and they were hella half-assed. It was one of the weakest stories in the Pokemon franchise, which Pokemon's not very known for stories, but when they do stories, there's at least something there. This one was just dumb. The main villain, who was actually Lysander from this game, was trying to make the world beautiful, and his evil team was a bunch of flamboyant in suits that were trying to make the world beautiful, whatever the that meant. There is this really famous scene where he cries and just says, Pokemon, and it's like, what the f are we talking about? There was so much shit in X and Y that was clearly like, oh, they're gonna fix this in Z. There was this completely unused power plant area, and when you would like pan over there, if you could like break the camera, you would see there was a lot of geometry. Like there was clearly something there. The Pokemon Zygarde was presented in this game as just a simple dragon, but then it was revealed that it was actually made up of these micro cells that could change forms. And in the next game that they made after this one, like 3 years later, which was a new generation, they kind of added Zygarde as like a bonus. Like, hey, we didn't put him in the Pokemon Z, we'll just put him in Pokemon Sun and Moon, I guess. He's here for some reason, even though they don't have anything to fucking do. We just didn't want to waste this idea. There were Pokemon like Volcanion and Magearna. Magearna is very French looking. Like, these were clearly intended to be in X and Y. Volcanion is in X and Y, but his event just like never got distributed until later. There was a lot of just unfinished shit. Everyone had the feeling that this game was unfinished. But honestly, it was kind of easy to accept the lackluster story. For one, the game actually introduced a ton of lore. Mega Evolutions, a crazy new game mechanic, was introduced in this generation, and we learned that they had some connection to some like ancient war where this ancient super weapon was used. Like, everything set up in X and Y felt like it was building up to a crazy sequel, which we just never got. Like, it's crazy. And the reason was, again, capitalism. Game Freak was kind of scared of Pokemon being their only cash cow, so they started an initiative at the same time to have Game Freak develop different games. They made a lot of, like, kind of crappy indie games. I think some of them were okay, but none of them did well. And they canned Pokemon Z to make that initiative, so we just didn't get this game. Like, by the time they realized that was a bad idea, they were already on Sun and Moon. So then we get this game 20 years later, and it's literally called Pokemon ZA. Like, this is the third game we were missing, and it's only set in Lumio City, and we're like, that's weird. Lumio City itself is weird, because one of those like things that felt really unfinished in Pokemon X and Y was there's a whole different city called Anastar City with this weird rock in the middle of it that just never gets explained, and it's clearly probably connected to Deontay, another mythical Pokemon in the game that never really gets explored. You know what would have been really cool? What if this like Legends ZA tournament that they propped up so much for this fucking game, what if that one you actually got to go through the whole tournament? I don't even think I mentioned that. They tell you we're gonna have this whole tournament that's gonna be so cool, and you're gonna go from Z to A. It's pretty easy to imagine, like, oh, if there's enough to do, maybe that'd be fun. There's not enough to do. There's not at all. Like I said, there's like 3 things you can actually do in this world. So at some point you get to like rank V, I think, and they skip you up to rank F. It's actually cartoonish. Like, we didn't have enough to do in this game. Here you go. Just go up to like level 20 now. And the thing is, that would work really well if you got to explore the rest of Kalos, like in an actual AAA game. And I do have sympathies for Pokemon. Like, I don't even want to call it sympathies. I understand that their business model just fundamentally will not allow that. Funny enough, Jeff Thu actually has a pretty, I think it's a pretty good video that kind of explains what's going on with Pokemon. I'll glaze for Pokemon a little bit here. Pokemon is a giant multimedia franchise, and they need to like treat it like that. Like, I'm not saying that's not true, but there is no way they would ever let that happen because they would probably make less money. Now, they make a fucking insane amount of money. They don't need to constantly make more money, but the nature of capitalism dictates that they have to keep making money. Like, I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying, no, that's going to keep happening whether we like it or not. Whether they like it or not, honestly. They have a certain deadline to pump out Pokemon games, and it's because these games have to coincide with other Pokemon releases. What would be a really cool idea, why don't they make a bigger game in the background with older Pokemon? I think that would be really good. Actually, the more I'm thinking about it, this game didn't have any fucking new Pokemon in it. Oh my god. I didn't even... Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. So they could do that. They made this game. This game didn't have a time limit, actually. You're seeing me react to this realization in real time. I want you to know that. Because the justification for Pokemon always having shitty games, to me, has been like, okay, well, they constantly have to release new products. Because they are constantly releasing new products because they have the generations. They have to make sure the new games keep up with the generations. This game doesn't fucking have that. There aren't new Pokemon. Like, there's not even, like, regional variants. Like, Legends Arceus had new Pokemon. They were evolutions. But, like, Wordier and Sneasler our new Pokemon. Mega Victory Bell is a weird Victory Bell. I can't believe I just realized that. That is fucking insane. I need a fucking cigarette. Holy crap. Promise me you won't buy this game, okay? We're making a viewer audience promise here. Just promise me, please. Do not buy this fucking game. Oh, I should also mention my favorite character, this guy. I don't remember his name. I just called him Halthor. I'm sure I'll put the name on screen or something. But Halthor was my he was my through the whole story. See, in the game, Pokemon are constrained to these little areas inside the city. And Halthor recognizes that that's kind of fucking weird to keep animals in cages just because you want them, like, on display in your fucking city. And he's like, I'm gonna knock those motherfuckers down. He's got his own little, like, evil Pokemon team, except they're not even actually evil, they're pretty cool. And they have this goal. They're gonna get Halthor to the top of the city's rankings so that he can knock all those zones down. And the second he brings this up, you know what this stupid bitch says? That would never happen. Fuck her, okay? If you have an opportunity to in your game, kill her. You know how long I had to play at the beginning of this fucking game, listen to this stupid dribble machine fucking talk about nothing while she railroaded me through side quest after side quest, and I was just like, bitch, if you don't let me change out of this white boy gear and get some fucking dreads, out of these nerdy ass fucking tucked in shirt that they got me in at the beginning of the game, out of your weird fucking jacket, fuck this bitch, she's a cop. Oh, there's also this fucking kid. Thank goodness I remembered. That would have been embarrassing. Outside of the story, this kid is the single most upsetting thing about this game, because he's almost fucking cool. I actually really liked him when I first saw him. This is another black dude. He uses like weird goth Pokemon like me. He's like a weird autismo that's into streamers and shit. I was like, that's cool. The thing is, that's his whole character. There's nothing actually interesting about him or thematic. Again, when I judge stories, I usually go off of themes, and Nazim is not a character meant to explore any kind of theme. He's meant to be a cuddly black kid that you can like have in your little imaginary group of friends, like, oh, Nazim's so quirky. That's what he's quirky. He's fucking quirky. In this shitty, weird story, the best character is this quirky autistic kid. Look, if you're gonna buy this game, just please burn it when you're done with it, please. Please burn it. Put it in a shredder. Like, this game deserves pain. I need you to know that. This game deserves fucking pain. Now, for the next bit on the Generic Entertainment Super Show, I wanted to come in here, and there's supposed to be this little old, like, mountain, like, billy goat man right here, and I wanted to come in here and have him say something to the effect of, you thinking you can just come in here looking like a and just fuck my daughter? Not just anyone can fuck my daughter. I gotta like him I gotta want him real bad. Not just anyone can do that, alright? You need to get the fuck out of here. So, we're just gonna all, like, hold hands and pretend that this is actually what he looked like. We're just gonna pretend that he said those evil things to me, okay? We're just gonna pretend that. Oh, there's fog. What the fuck? I've never seen fog in this city. Did the season change? That's genuinely the coolest thing I've seen in this game in a while. Like, at the beginning it was pretty cool. After playing it for like how many hours, like this is... Feel the blood pumping, Jesus. Now look at this boy. He's allowed to fuck my daughter. Look at, come here. Why don't you go ahead and give her a squeeze. Go and give her a squeeze anywhere you want, son. Ah, you got my daughter on the pussy. That's good, so that's what I would have done it. That's good. Oh!